Only a few days back, we made the video looking at the recent Full Send podcast drama involving Kyle, Forgeard, and Bob Menery, where Bob went on a full rampage over his treatment when he was on the podcast and how he was allegedly owed over $50,000. Well, last night, Kyle had enough of Bob's antics and took to Instagram to explain everything. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video, that way you won't miss out on any key information. Welcome back to Loaf. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and switch on the notification bell to receive updates on new celebrity videos. Let's jump right into the video and find out Kyle's response to this entire situation. Like we just briefly touched on, Kyle posted numerous Instagram stories last night where he explained Bob's contract in detail and the fact Full Send owed him $0, and it was complete lies.
Bob is saying on social media that we owe him money. That is a complete lie. We don't owe Bob Menery a cent. He's also saying that he had the worst deal, a terrible deal for the podcast. But guys, in the 10 months that he was on the show, he made $1.2 million. $1.2 million in 10 months. I'm going to show you guys exactly what his deal was. So this is Bob's deal. I typed it out on screen on Instagram here too. Also, he had not one, but 2 different lawyers look over this deal. And it is extremely generous if you guys do not understand.
No wonder Kyle is pissed off with how Bob is running around aimlessly stating they owe him money when, according to Kyle, $1.2 million in 10 months for a podcast or more than generous. A lot of fans' reactions to Kyle posting this response to Bob were mad respect to Kyle for how professional and mature he is about the situation. Bob is way out of line. The Full Send podcast is way better without him. Brad is a huge step up. Keep grinding, boys. Bob was terrible anyway for the podcast. Always interjected, never asked smart questions, and did not add any value whatsoever. Kyle is so kind and genuine, and you can tell he's honest and loves his company a lot. Before we check out the next clip, leave your thoughts in the comment section right now. What did you think of Kyle's response to Bob?
So he got 30% of the ad revenue of the show. He never owned it. He always says he owns it. He never had ownership of the show. On top of that, he had 7.5K an episode, usually around 30K a month if that's 4 episodes. 50% of the podcast merch, which is insane. First class flights, hotels, transportation, all covered by us. The production, the staff, and the equipment, all covered by us. So Bob had no expenses. Everything production-wise was covered by Nelk. All Bob had to do was show up.
In my opinion, I feel like Bob's Adderall issue may have something to do with how he's handling the situation. Because if you look at his exposing video on Kyle a few days ago, he clearly looked on something, and even you guys pointed it out in the video we made. He's clearly got substance issues. Not saying he hasn't been effed up by them, but this kind of public reaction is not a good look for Bob.
Like, I considered Bob one of my best friends, so I still have enough respect for him where I'm not going to be pouring out personal details on social media. But you guys see how he is on social media, and behind the scenes, his behavior became like completely uncontrollable. And, you know, like I'm all about the work hard, play hard shit. No one is more than me, but my thing is when it affects the team and the staff and the operation and just Full Send as a whole, that's when I personally got to draw the line.
Kyle's response to the entire situation made me a fan because he didn't approach it from an ego standpoint like Bob has been doing. He stated he tried to help Bob, nothing was working. It affected the entire Full Send team, so he had to end his business relationship with him.
And he said, Kyle, you have 24 hours to sign this brand new deal or I'm not showing up to the game tomorrow. And I said, what the fuck, Bob? That's not realistic. You coming to me with a new deal and expecting me to sign it in 24 hours? That's not enough time. I said, come to the game episode tomorrow. Let's crush the episode. And you have my word. Me and you, one-on-one, we'll sit down. We'll figure it out. We will come to some sort of solution. Like, you're my boy, Bob. Like, we can figure this out. And I begged with him and I pleaded with him. And he didn't show up. He missed the game episode.
You could always tell Bob seems lazy. The fact Kyle had stated he demanded he signed a new contract or he wouldn't show up. What sort of business partner is that? So slimy. The podcast is 10 times better now with Bradley Martin as co-host. Everything happens for a reason. Then in response to Bob posting on his story that Kyle's term wasn't true, Kyle posted the signed contract onto his Instagram, which made Bob look like a complete idiot in this situation.
Really comical that he could even try and spin this in any way, shape, or form. Guys, I will resort to this, okay? When Kyle and I went into a partnership, we made a commitment and a promise to each other. Regardless of how successful a show is, if a show is successful, it's going to make a lot of money, right? I had a portion of that money, right? But I was also promised multiple things that just never came to fruition, was danced around for months and months and months. At the same time, used my name, dragged through the mud, telling people I set up Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, all this fucking shit that was a bold-faced lie, okay? Because I'd love to hear him address that. What about Colby and whatever, when you went on the internet and told everybody that I set up these guys and ruined my reputation, and if you Google my name, it's in every fucking Google search. Okay? First of all, his money stuff, all the stuff he said on money, what he paid and all that, that's bullshit too.
This response has made the situation even worse for Bob because he states he was promised multiple things but didn't state what any of them were. In Kyle's video, he provided a lot of information surrounding how much Bob got paid, the guests that were Bob's, even the contract that was signed. Bob is just clutching at straws and running his mouth the entire time. This concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.